Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting and amazing Propagandacast from the host Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, hero of select defender of the fatherland, or theatre 1v1. Oh, sorry about that. Ploiesti Outskirts. North of this Joygame, fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, the glorious 3rd Guards Mechanized Corps here with Motor, Advanced Warfare, and Armoured Assault Tactics. One thing you quickly notice is there's an emphasis on T-35 for Joygame, even got a bulletin for them. In the south it is 01, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here taking on the role of the 16th Panzer Grenadier Division with Mobile Defense, Blitzkrieg, and Lighting War. Triple infantry bulletin there for him. No particular pattern here, except maybe command tanks and Panzer Tactician, actually, and there's also a bit of tactical movement there. There's a bit of overlap, actually, between all three commanders when you look at it. You must do a close air support. So, double Grenadiers, Pioneers versus double Conscripts, double Engineers. Joygame likely going to go for Motor here then. And there's always a big hearty thanks to my page supporters, Champion and Heroes 101. Without them, this episode would not be possible. Also, big thanks to Andrew for donating by PayPal to support the Propagandacast with his hard-earned money. Other people enjoying this an example are my wonderful patron supporters by pledging or donating by PayPal. Pledging up, donating, links on the description. Finding, commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing, while not as glorious, certainly helps out the Propagandacast quite a bit as well, thereby spreading the word and fighting the YouTube algorithms. Sandbags here, secure. Pioneers up there. Conscript falling a bit back here for Joygame and the Red Army. Grenadiers advancing here. Slow advance here. 3rd Grenadier Squad there for 01 and the German Army. 3rd Grenadier Squad there for 01. Contra there being slightly hounded here by the Pioneers and the Grenadiers, but staying at a safe range so far. 3rd Contra Squad there for Joygame. Seeing some players for the Wehrmacht not going for machine guns right away because they want to play a bit more aggressively. And so they skip the machine gun at least initially, though typically they will always go for one machine gun in the end. That said, push north here, slightly being... it's going slightly awry here for 01. Didn't quite get to secure the right points. Then we can also see Joygame is harassing him, making it difficult for 01 to secure. And again, this is kind of like, why not everyone goes for no machine guns? As if you get caught wrong-footed as the Wehrmacht without the machine gun, you can definitely find yourself in the top spot. It's also worth noting here, 01 is spreading himself up quite thinly here versus Joygame, which definitely has, I think, some significant risk. Okay, we got a shift here from 01 pretty rapidly here with a mortar on the way there. Triple Grenadiers into mortar is definitely not your average Wehrmacht opening. I can guarantee you that, dear viewers. Skirmishes from the south here. Going to southwards, up north, going to increasingly large number of conscripts held up there. That said, if you get the mortar in on time, that could be quite painful there for Joygame. In fact, I'm surprised it's not just bum rushing those Grenadiers. Got the mortar up here. The Granatenwerfer. 34. Opening up there on the third positions, but too late here. They're going to have to give, at which point the mortar rounds will sadly falling a bit too off the mark here for 01. He quick to stop it though, so at least can sort of auto barrage, which is less effective as it is less accurate and shoots slower than a mortar barrage. But on the other hand, just requires the mortar to be there. So, little fun note there. It actually used to be the other way around, that auto barraging was the best option, at which point people just go for like multiple mortars and have them do all the fighting. That obviously was not satisfactory, so that got nerfed. 4th Grenadiers got there for 01 in the German army. We do actually get 4 counters here for Joygame, so maybe it's not Gamot. It could be Advanced Warfare Tactics or Armoured Assault Tactics after all. We'll have to see here. Grenadiers, Pioneers here, back at base in the south, going to sneak up there behind Joygame's front line, sloping forward here. Again, scattering himself a bit. They're relying perhaps a bit much here on the mortar to then deliver most of the damage. Using the south aiming forwards. Pioneers ready. No tech yet for 01. They could take up now. Sandbags up north. Fuel point being grabbed. Steadily sending more troops northwards here with the Granatenwerfer. Typically, a German infantry company would have a platoon with heavy weapons, which would include some mortars and heavy machine guns. So, little fun note there. In fact, roughly 6 for such a support unit there. Moving forwards there, well, company unit, such units. Support elements are moving forwards here. Jenny's being pushed back here. Again, he's being shot to bits by the conscripts. Again, scattering himself quite thinly does leave himself a bit more open there for counterattacks with Joygame, but at the same time, if Joygame isn't exploiting it, then obviously it works out for 0-1, who has got a bunker up that crucially has still yet to take out there. That is a fairly late tech for the Wehrmacht. Typically, a Wehrmacht player would be quite fast, about taking up like 4 or 5 minutes. They will have got it done. There we go. So, a bit behind them. Meanwhile, Joygame is taking up there. Probably going to be rushing out the T-70, but could also go for the anti-aircraft tower effect. Depends again which of these 3 commanders does he ultimately pick here. Though beyond that, of course, the obvious thing is there's obviously going to be T-3045s involved. The question is, what will the rest of it look around the T-3045s? I'd say on a map like Ploiesti Outskirts, though, Oilfield, Advanced Warfare could have some options there with the conscript assault package, though could actually go on for it soon as could also have the radio interceptor, providing with an intelligence advantage over 0-1. Right now, though, he definitely has the fuel advantage, which is definitely something 0-1 should want to rectify as soon as possible. Take down there, we got two units moving head southwards here. Pioneer Grenadier Squad, they're exploring the fact that he's weaker in the south, and we got the rest of the forces heading northwards here. Still, Joygame is enjoying quite a strong position here. The mortar though is fairly decent as an idea, though you need to remember to barrage more here, because again it can help with the dug-in, so it's... But he definitely needs to remember to barrage with it. That's what 0-1 might go for. I mean, Lightning War with the G for the feast here could be a really good addition versus Joygame. Again, closer quarters does reward you for having something that's like more punchy up there. We go, Lightning War. Mine detectors up there for Joygame's engineers, very good. But we'll have to see, does he go for the half-track here or does he go for the T-70? Standard so Metagame is increasingly focusing more on the half-track, so I'd not be surprised if he goes for that. Mortar barrage here, definitely a bit dangerous. I'm surprised he actually bunch up his conscripts more on the face of the mortar. Do not worry, comrades. By pressing our bodies together, we shall survive the severe explosive shock waves of the enemy artillery. Don't you mean the other way around? Oh, brilliant, you're right. 2-2 there for 0-1. T-70 for Joygame. That would definitely require Pack 40. Awesome Panzerschrecks. And saying in a map here with a lot more, shall we say, clutter, a lot more sharper corners, the Panzerschrecks could be a fairly decent idea here versus the T-70. As the Pack 40 can start to like find a good position to fire from versus the T-70, depending how well Joygame may choose it. But again, it's worth noting he has gone for the T-70, not the half-track, so he will have munitions to spare, which could again be a sign he might be planning advanced warfare or got motor. Otherwise, he'd be better off just going for armored assault and then, you know, going for the half-track, honestly, I think. But he needs to get that fuel. Like, I'm really surprised his 0-1 has just been kind of like a bit scattershot here versus Joygame at the moment. He's been able to control the victory point somewhat, but again, fuel-wise, he's definitely a bit behind on the race there. North there's some lighter skirmishing. Mines here from Joygame, thumbs up to that. Pioneers the base in the center with some Via. Actually, that's not them, I think it was the Soviets. On closer inspection. Pack 40 is being hauled northwards very slowly here by 0-1's Pack Gunners. South here, Pioneers going for the units in the south. We got the Ponch caught there by the Grenadiers. No sonar upgrade yet for the Grenadiers. No light machine guns. Oh, there we go. G43. So again, on this particular map, again, they are quite well. And we do get armored assault here from Joygame. Solid commander, though he arguably could have gone for it sooner. In fact, it's also worth noting he actually had 2 commanders, the radio intercept as well there. Forgot about that. But I'm not sure I wouldn't even go for the half-track almost. At which point, again, you could save up fuel for a faster T-3045 or 76. Guess he also wants the IS-2 then, which is not, of course, an entirely bad idea, because he's got pretty good fuel control versus 0-1. Joygame isn't perhaps something entirely deluded to think he can get away with an IS-2 if he can keep it up. But that's it, 0-1 needs to like put a bit more emphasis on the fuel here versus Joygame, because Joygame is, and that's definitely helping out there quite a bit. Machine gun ready, troops reinforcing, healing, and we got more T-45s going up there to the Grenadiers. Die Gewehr 43. Mortar there so far with 3 kills. We got a mortar here from Joygame in response to the enemy mortar, I imagine. Also, we got a lot of sandbags here from Joygame. Like, he's digging across practically every point here versus 0-1 to make any sort of head-on advance a bit more difficult. Ooh, caught here. A few light hits there. Grand Northern fuel point there. I mean, he needs also fuel for his own tanks. It's not just about denying his opponent the fuel, it's about ensuring he gets fuel as well. More sandbags, like, good lord, Joygame is just exploiting the sandbags to the fullest. It certainly also helps, again, the map is much more narrow, and again has a lot more effective choke points, so in this regard, having, like, you know, sandbags in these positions also makes it more easy to just bottle up an enemy attack. Unless they, like, commit an inordinate amount of resources. Which is certainly also one of the strengths of the So's. They can just easily, like, throw down a lot of these sandbag positions, which are also just, like, you know, twice as big as, like, any other sandbag position in the game. So they're much easier, also just hiding a squad behind. In fact, multiple. But there you go, up north here, we do get that larger commitment of troops here by 0-1 in the German army here. 16th Panzergrenadier Division. 4th Company pushes ahead here for Deutschland. Breaching the northern lines there. Joygame is forced to retreat his men to a more safe and defensible position for now. As once the line is broken, he does struggle to maintain a bit there. South here, Pioneers pushing force there. Minesweepers on the way there. Thumbs up to 0-1. Actually managed to avoid the mine and then hits into another one, losing Ludwig. No tech yet. Joygame is in fact taking up that he's rushing in again. That fuel lead has really paid off big dividends for him. But yeah, the G33s do provide 0-1 with a bit more offensive move now versus the conscripts, as they can fire on the move and they do pack a punch there. They do pack a punch. Toss in the mortar there, though he could bring that bit closer to the front line. Steel hand grenade here, I think would be a good idea to consider tossing against Joygame's Frontovics. And he probably should get that mortar out of there before it gets claimed by the German army. Constantine there drops it. Thyssen going for the grenades. Armor holding back. Cis 3 Division field on there for Joygame and the Red Army. Armor cuddling a few hits here. Southern fuel now threatened here by 0-1's Pioneer. Then these was the conscripts there. But now the situation for 0-1's looking much better. And there we go. We got smoke deployed here by Joygame around the pack position. Delightfully fiendish. But nothing further going here for 0-1. Nothing further going on. For now, at least. There we go. Tech for 0-1. That is excellent. Though he's going to be still some time away from any armor. Using Coh2 under the smoke cover, but it's about to lift and right in front of the armored car too. We got the infantry here back by the victory point. We got flares being deployed by Joygame. Thumbs up. One reason why certain mortars are quite good is, besides being 6-man crews, they do get access to the flare, which is a really powerful ability to have on a mortar. That's going to give you some easy access to reconnaissance your opponents can't disrupt. There you go, mortar caught and routed. Thyssen Panzerfausted. Tech slowly down there for 0-1 in the German army. Joygame is closing on that T-34s from 6 though, considering, you know, he has 3 commanders with T-35s and a T-35 bulletin. I'm kind of expecting him to go for T-35s first. That said, in terms of bulletins, I would probably recommend the experience gain bulletin for the T-35 rather than the defense one, as experience gain tends to, like, you know, be a bit more impactful, as 3% more armor in most situations won't really matter. Whereas again, 10% more experience typically can, you know, quickly build up and get it faster than, like, you know, it becomes really good. So, light bit of feedback there. In the south, we got the Gunners and Engineers here. Gewehr 43s versus the Flamethrower and the Mosinee guns. Machine and job there being pushed back. Pack also swarmed here by Joygame's infantry. Lost one squad there at some point. Great kill there for 0-1. Thyssen rushing southwards, north side seeing. Oh, there we go. Deep flank here by Joygame, threatening to unravel 0-1's northern front line like a poorly knit sweater by Grandmama. Thyssen getting the Grenadiers there. Shots fired. Armor coming back up with the Pack 40. Here's the conscripts, pursuing them there rapidly and aggressively. Can build the Supreme of course soon. Joygame is getting close to that T-3045. He could try and stall for the IS-2, but as a usual rule of thumb, I would never recommend stalling right away for a big heavy tank. However appealing it might appear, it risks just putting your economy on hold for too long, which can give your opponent then time to recover and gain the upper hand. We also see here, by now, 01 has brought in 2 heavy machine gun teams to back up all of his infantry, the mortar and the double packs. That could on the end indicate 01 might be trying to stall for the Tiger tank, which again, similarly is risky. Could also in this regard then encourage Joygame to stall out for the IS-2 himself. So this could turn into a heavy tank engagement. Almost got the T-70 with the Pack 40s, the Panzerabwehrkanone. Almost all Grenadiers were equipped with the Gewehr 43, which was an improvement on the Gewehr 41, which had some reliability issues and some other issues there. And so they basically just end up copying the firing mechanism of the Soviet S-50-40 and applied that to the G-43. There you go, Joygame is not stalling for the IS-2 tank. He is in fact going for the T-35. Again, thumbs up to that. Much better there. Much more efficient tank too. No sign of anything further there for 01. Again, the kind of way his force looks makes me think he's stalling for the Tiger tank here. Or at least has the potential thought of doing it. We'll have to see if he sticks to it once Joygame starts rolling out those T-3045s against him. So they can be quite nasty in numbers. There we go, T-3045 ready here for Joygame and the Red Army. Is routed, not upgraded still. More smoke being deployed here by Joygame, thumbs up that. Good efficient use of smoke here versus 01. Makes it hard for him to coordinate defenses and also makes it hard for him to get a clear idea as to what Joygame is actually doing in the under the smoke there. So there's a lot of elements here to good use of smoke there against the player. T-70, T-35 coming up the center here. Creeping the T-35 kind of reserve here, not committing. Oh, there we go. Committing now here against the MD-42. Could get a wipe, but there you go. Wipes the MD-42. Pack 40 crew exposed. And he keeps fighting here. There's a good chance wiping him, particularly rushing the T-70. No, doesn't. Moving in the pack crew there. Feel like he should have rushed in and then when the pack wiped out the crew here. Missed opportunity there by Joygame. Also means he can't then grab the MD-42 easily either, so that could have been, I think, executed a bit more aggressively by Joygame. And there you got the T-70 taken out. TS both packs now focuses down. Good kill there by 01. Punishing again, I think, Joygame here for being a bit too passive under a critical moment. Needs to get the T-35 for safety, and he doesn't grab the MD-42. Maybe he does. He definitely should, though. He definitely, I also would say, missed an opportunity to take out there at least one of 01's Pack 40s. So, bit sluggish reaction there. Perhaps he wasn't expecting the things to go that well for him and just wasn't entirely sure then how to exploit that. That can happen from time to time. Okay, 01 not starting for the Tiger tank, though he did forget to finish off this promo corps. So, again, optimal move there is not to stall for a Tiger tank in most situations. So that will be a Panther 4 most likely here. Smoke being deployed again here. Guessing by Joygame. He's the only one who's got this mortar smoke on cooldown. Got the Guinness pushing 40, a lot of G-Fed use for the conscripts. Panther 4 there for 01. The Panzerkampfwagen 4. Workhorse of the German Panzerwaffe and the most produced medium tank in the German army. The second most produced tank was actually the Panther, which I think roughly about 5,000 of them were made compared to the Panther 4's roughly 7,000 to 8,000 made. Fun fact! Good up by the Pack 4 and the T-35. Most produced armored fighting vehicle though was the Stug 3. Mortifying way 3 kills, close to 82 on the Grenadier, gets some kills in the engineers, punishing Joygame for paying too close to the front line there. More smoke deployed. Very consistent smoke here by Joygame, very consistent. Could use your rocket launch here, though I think you should have committed to more tanks, that said. I mean, the Katyusha can also be quite well, in particular more like dense map, with, again, as mentioned, more choke points in a sense. The Katyusha rocket launcher can be quite punishing there if the 0-1, you know, makes a mistake. It just gets fudged over by bad pathing. We got Fiend 86 was 4-1. Joygame has a tiny lead. That northern attempt here to win a northern fuel point is halted here and thwarted by 0-1 and the 16th Panzer Grenadier Division. Katyusha is almost done there for Joygame and the Red Army. Machine guns and countrymen on the centre here against Joygame. I mean, 0-1, not Joygame. Regular grenade there. No support here though in terms of anti-tank. No field guns, no T-35, but the Grenadiers are pushed back here by the Engineers MD-42. Counter caught here by the other MD-42 and pushed back. Much of a follow-up attack here, and there go further loss inflicted there on Joygame's frontline infantry as 0-1 mercilessly punishes it. But there you go, Katyusha barrage, goes wide. Most of the rockets just don't really hit anything. So the element of surprise has been lost, and he's just also stuck with a significant cooldown there of 1.5 minutes. But there you go. Never mind that. He took out half the machine gun cruiser. Not all bad, but not a huge success either. I feel like in this regard, he was a bit too quick on the trigger finger, but the Katyusha should have waited at least a bit longer to like maybe catch 0-1 in a better angle. At least get the Katyusha slightly closer to the front line to reduce the scatter that way. As most artillery in the game has the element where the further away the artillery piece is from the target, the more the scatter increases. Plus, if you don't have line of sight of target to the target, the scatter increases further. So, for example, just firing from your base there and a target you really can't see there means the rockets, for example, won't be hitting much. Unless your opponent's like, you know, really dense in that particular area. We do get the artillery attacks here right into the midst of 0-1's position. Gets the armoured car. Then he's being hammered here by the Sturmovix, also known as the Flying Brick House or the Flying Tank. Counter following up here, providing line of sight for the aircraft above here. Make it much difficult here for 0-1 to maintain position. He does go for the Flak Panzer here. He is not going to have like any further encounters with the R2 Sturmovix like that if you can avoid it. Thumbs up there, but it does allow me for Joygame to win this. Sees a lot of territory, very good for him. T-35 then it repairs. Katyusha there ready to fire in a few moments. Also caught here by the Sturmovix. Note the Soviet army act out of a variety of Katyushas there. Okay, he's doing, you know, that one thing, as you notice, can be fairly tricky. She's firing blindly into his opponent's base. A lot of people like to do that, which again requires, like, if you're not hitting the exact right spot, you're just wasting the rockets. In this case, killed a few pioneers. But this is typically like just the kind of worst approach to artillery. It's like, you know, the blind fire, hope to get lucky kind of approach there. More pioneers though for 0-1, thumbs up. But as I was about to say before, the Katyusha barrage disturbed me, or broke off there. Basically, they had a variety of them. In fact, they'd use larger and larger rockets, like we're talking, I think, somewhere like 300mm rockets on like Studebaker trucks, for example. So they could fire a variety of rockets there from the Katyushas. So, fun fact there. Fun fact. And similar to the Germans, they'd also like mount them to a variety of frames. For example, think like T-60 tanks that had Katyusha rockets mounted on top of them. Smaller frames, you know, but still rocket launcher frames mounted on a light tank. Doubt we'll ever see that in Company Heroes, though. Would be kind of neat. A bit like the Hotchkiss tank in Companies 1. He's caught here by the MB-42. T-field landing great hit on the Grenadiers, killing poor Joygame. And for rolling hit for Deutschland, Grenadiers pushing more to the conflict. Well, steadily overwhelmed here by 0-1's advancing Grenadiers. His hardened frontline Truppen ready to overwhelm the Soviets with belief in Deutschland. And there you go, Flak Panzer ready, making it much easier for Joygame to utilise his air support, as the Flak Panzer can make fairly short work of it. Mortar meanwhile continues to be a decent investment here for 0-1 with 7 kills in the ace level. Katyusha is almost ready to fire again for Joygame. We'll have to see if we can land a more, you know, aggressive barrage here versus 0-1 this time around. In the South, Pioneer advancing for Deutschland. We got loads of mines about of Joygame, making it harder there for 0-1 to pull off a blitzkrieg maneuver for sure. You see it. Ooh, the Panther hits a brick wall instead. Pioneers are out here by the T-35, unsurprisingly. Joygame can now go for another T-35, but at this point, it's also possible that Joygame might be thinking, you know what, I can go for an IS-2 heavy tank. Or I should go for an IS-2 heavy tank. No sign of that attempt here by 01 at least. So we'll have to see. If Joygame doesn't go for another T-35 soon, then he's probably thinking about an IS-2 heavy tank. Panda 4 pack Austrian machine gun. He's just launching a major assault here, and he's calling air support of his own. And of course, worth noting, Joygame does not have any anti-aircraft support here. Of course, he doesn't also have a lot of aircraft, things to be shot at in the line of target here. So I'm not entirely sure why 01 called it in sort of preemptively. In this regard, still close air support is one way, like, really want to make sure you actually got tanks to fire at or vehicles. Otherwise, it's just kind of a waste of resources. Of course, it does technically keep Joygame away from the area, but the question is, do you really want to be using like that? And there you go, Katyusha barrage lands a hell of a hit here, wipes one of the pack crews under 01's command. Another pack crew, they're suffering losses. Osman driving forwards there. Almost got the Katyusha, but he's forced back in with the field gun, and the T-35 gun is nearby, helping assist there. That went... Oh, we got both pack crews there. Small win there for Joygame. 10 kills on the Katyusha. That's definitely an improvement. Definitely improvement. Guns being mauled here. T-35 fire and mortar fire there is causing huge losses there amongst 01's grenadiers. That could be half his grenadier force. Yep. Gone in the blink. Now, that was a mistake of a high proportion there by 01. Meanwhile, Joygame is intent on going for the IS-2 heavy tank here. Wants to use a heavy tank here to breach through 01's lines. And 01 is going for the Stug 3G. Perhaps reading here the way the wind is blowing and preparing the mighty Sturmgeschütz to face off against this Stalinist steel beast. Panda 4 there with 8 kills. Veteran 1 on the south here controlling up. Front of X routed here by 01's bold grenadiers. Back here, troops reinforcing here. Need to fix up that Flakpanzer schnell und rapidly. Gonna fix up on the T-35 and the Katyusha. T-35 they're moving ahead for the Red Army. Stug ready. Though I don't think that's going to deter Joygame. I doubt anyone in staff is going to go, Ploiesti, he's gone for a Stug. Stop it, we can't send an IS-2 in there, comrades. It would surely be exploded within seconds. Katyusha fire here against the 01. This time another one, well, actually slightly better target again, to use the flash motors, but he still continues to fire from within the safety of his base. You can understand you want to make sure it doesn't get like surprise shot or something, but at the same time you may want to also like make sure it actually hits something a bit more aggressively. But there you go, Stug 3G ready here for 01, backbone of the German Panzerwaffe and honestly also the German infantry. The armoured backbone anyways. Stugs would find themselves pressed into a variety of roles as the war went on, serving in tank destroyer battalions, tank battalions as well. Hell, even heavy tank battalions and heavy tank destroyer battalions would then find themselves with Stugs because they couldn't get any other tanks, and the Stug was just like, you know, well, he can do that as well. Field and shoots missing the Stug here, Osman 4 bouts. Close to 82, good hit by the Stug on the T-35. Meanwhile, Joygame, there we go, at the 28-minute mark, can call in the IS-2 heavy tank. Stalin's sledgehammer, equipped with a 122mm gun, meant for breaking up German lines and basically helping break through them. Wasn't quite as much designed for, you know, fighting tanks head on. It certainly could deliver a punch. It did not have a great rate of fire due to the sheer size of the shells, which actually necessitated the shells being in 2 parts. So that's significantly lowered its rate of fire. So, little fun fact there. South against catching the console in the southern building. Still, Joygame's got great map control in this regard. 01 definitely needs to get a bit more aggressive and active again. Like, he's forgotten about the south bit against Joygame. Could be pressuring him more there, to be honest. And also, very consistent use of flares here by Joygame. Really nice to see that. We got the IS-2 there. Slightly repositioning instead of driving straight into every German anti-tank gun assault gun, which I would say is tactically, definitely this is a smarter move. Zero-1 though needs more infantry. Like, he's got 2 grenadier squads, which is definitely, I think, a bit on the short end. As always, I would recommend Panzergrenadiers. In a particular map that's, I think, more close quarters, Panzergrenadiers has been quite great. You could also consider using relief infantry, maybe he'll bring in some Ostrom just to have cap points. We'll have to see what he does, but he's promising up more munitions for the super process. But in particular, now he's seeing the IS-2, I imagine he's Zero-1's thought process is, yeah, I want a Luftwaffe to help dealing with this. I definitely want a Luftwaffe. For once. Katyusha barrage against the Joygame. Screaming rockets for the pack crew there, being mauled by the rockets. There's 2 holding back here for Joygame, getting the gunners in the south here, with the 120mm gun, transporting force there for Joygame and the Red Army. Troops enforcing healing here. Up north, machine gun pack crew being hammered. Stuka taking hits from the 6th Fleet Division field gun as Joygame unleashes expert gunnery against. We got 212 as a 401. Zero-1 really might want to start continuing aggressive, though. Again, all the mines Joygame's been laying down across the match. It's definitely going to be tough to at places get aggressive. Particularly in the south, it's going to be an absolute nightmare for Zero-1 to launch a breakthrough assault with. But in the north, again, there's not really a lot of mines, but in the end, it's also kind of, you know, clogged up there with lots of gunk. And he's going for another Ostwind. That's not what you'd expect a player to go against as an IS-2 heavy tank. Herr Kommandant, ja, Sie have a heavy tank. Bring in more Ostwinds. Wait, what? Ja, more Ostwinds. Don't worry, it'll work, trust me. But he's also bringing in more packs. Yeah, interesting choice of the Ostwind. Probably to maul the infantry. Second pack for today. Oh, third one, actually. So he's going to use the Ostwind to just tear through the infantry support weapons while the packs, the Stugs, deal with the armor. I mean, Ostwinds are quite good versus infantry, plus, of course, as mentioned, good versus aircraft. So with the 2 Ostwinds, he definitely makes sure the Joygame won't be using any Sturmovik attacks against him, as the 3rd Air Force will quickly find its wings clipped against that. That said, I don't think Zero-1 can wait much longer here before, you know, Joygame completely shuts him out of the game in terms of victory points. So he has to, like, you know, soon get the boot in there against Joygame. There you go, Flak Panzer moving in. There's the building there in the south. Or not. Looks like the assault's going in, moving the Ostwind in the north. They're catching the troops in the building. The infantry slowly falling in. The Panther Force shooting in the centre alongside the pack. They're bounced up. Katyusha firing away there. IS-2 taking some light hits here. Assault in the centre is already bogging down there. Go, we got air support calling around here. He's actually blocking his opponent by doing this from actually entering his own base. Like, he can't safely retreat without becoming a target of the Luftwaffe. Well, that's definitely a lot more devious here by Zero-1. I have to say, that's pretty damn impressive. Meanwhile, the Stu the Panther moving there, he's driving them into the Luftwaffe. That is really ingenious. Like, most players just pop it in as soon as earliest convenience, but in this regard, Zero-1 just set it up in the most difficult position then for Joygame to avoid as he gets attacked from another angle. That's fucking smart. So now he's just devastating here, Joygame, with flak fire, the Panzers and the Stuka, and he's of course forced to commit the armor in the line of fire of the Luftwaffe here. The Kanonenvögeln are slaughtering through here the IS-2's frontal armor there. IS-2 is being absolutely pummeled, almost knocked out here. This is absolutely devastating there for Joygame. Great for Zero-1 there. Goes Stuka gets the kill. Tiefenfeind misses. Mortar crew is being decimated. Oh God in Himmel, Zero-1 is just breaking Joygame apart. Talk about an assault, man. He just surgically tore apart Joygame there. That was just straight up movie villain level of just planning there in a sense. Well, not quite, but you know, close. Like the way just these things was like planned down to detail just meant Joygame's hands were completely tied up and he was just not in a position to deal with it. I mean, that was probably one of the best usages of Stuart Club's air support I've ever seen. Plus the Ostwinds again was just really well used here. Good lord, that was amazing. Makes me wish this, you know, replay mode had a rewind feature so you could just watch it again in slow motion. Well, not in slow motion, that'd be too slow, but you know, still watch it again. That was damn impressive. I mean, 2 thumbs up to 0-1. That was some absolutely, learning-worthy stuff there. Needs to fix up his armor. Prioritize in this case the Panther has the most veterancy. So obviously the best one to repair there. Osman in trouble here, getting pelted with entanglement hitting mines. He's also got the Ishvan pursuit of it. So there you go. Lost the Osman, but overall looking at what he did there, I mean, he took out so much of Joygames, and in the end he lost like an Osman a few minutes later. That's like really good. That was just an expert level assault there from 0-1. Expert level. Osman Demon Engineers up north here. He's probably hit straight to the Pack 40 here. Stug, though, knocked out. A tragic loss for the German peoples. But even then, I'm not entirely sure if Joygame can recover from these losses. That said, the only thing that's working out for him is that 0-1 is not quite quick to exploit the gains he made. Like, he was able to make a really good assault, but he's not quite exploiting the assault's, success afterwards as well. So that's definitely something he could be doing a bit better, if I have to be honest. He could be doing that a bit better. But that's honestly, I think, the only sort of like major critique here of what happened there. Joygame the recruit, the mortar could also destroy that. We've grabbed it on the machine gun here for 0-1. Smoke being deployed again as Joygame masters his men and orders them forwards for the glory of Comrade Stalin. Panther 4 with 26 kills. Pioneer out it. Front flanks moving forward here for Joygame. There you go, fresh Sturmgeschütz 3 Asphalt G for the 16th Panzer Grenadier Division. Near Ace-Load Flakpanzering southwards here. Gets really good at the Ace-Load bar, as it gets a significant mobility and rate of fire boost, meaning that gun with a high rate of fire shoots even faster. That's where things get really nasty. Though still thinks that 1 needs more infantry. Almost got the mortar crew there again. 30 kills on those G43 Grenadiers. Heading southwards, though. Might want to bring in the minesweepers first. Just a small thought there. Another T-35 there for Joygame and the Red Army. As 0-1 rapidly moves around there, surveying the battlefield and all the wreckage. Mortar at the ready. Panther shoots on the T-35 there for Joygame. Good shot there. Also leaves up an opportunity for a grenade there, but no, quick to retreat there in this case. Quick to retreat. T-35 ready. Got the air support ready, but again, needs to keep in mind that he's going to do it right into an Osprey, which is Vetsi 2, which actually gives it a bonus shooting down aircraft, and once it eventually fleet becomes even better at it anyways. So I don't think the Sturmviks will last long here. They have a go immediately knocked out of the skies, ace level. Sturmovik got away for now, but I don't think it's going to last much longer here against the Ostwind. T-5 flying past there, and there we go. Knocked out of the skies. Both Sturmoviks completely wrecked here by the Ostwind. Up north here, Panther 4 diving into the base here of Joygame. Recklessly just slaughtering his infantry, trying to knock out the tank here. Stu driving hit with a damaged engine. 0-1 seems practically fearless now. And there you go, Ace Flakpanzers just ripping Joygame's infantry apart. No mercy here from 0-1 at this point. He's unleashing all that pent-up anger from those earlier parts of the matches against Joygame's forces. I think at this point, Joygame is very much out of the war. There you go, more air support at this point doesn't even really matter. Like, Joygame's chances of bouncing back from this are fairly limited. Stu, there's about to get knocked out here. Tragic loss for the German peoples and the Wehrmacht. There we go, ace level Panther 4. T-35, they're desperately trying to escape here. The wrath of 0-1, there you go, Panther 4 goes kaput, and we got the ace level Ostwind begin to finish off the job here. 30 kills. 31. Another Stug here for 0-1. At this point, Joygame, oh, he just crushes them before they get to the pack. And there you go. GG, game over. Loss here for Joygame. A victory for Zuda1. A victory for Deutschland. But yeah, that late game assault that just completely dismantled Joygame. That was just... mwah, chef's kiss. Beautiful fight there. So I hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. Hope it gives you some matches. My ideas how to execute assaults better. If it did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell a friend, tell a family. And of course, do fire from the comments what you would have done differently in this match. This is Imperial saying cheers. Thank you for watching. Till tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.